Welcome back everybody to Forza Motorsport. So we're continuing on with the Luxury and Horsepower Championship, which is part of the Daily Races Tour. So I feel like we've been doing fairly well in this so far, I seem to remember. Let's have a look at the standings. But yeah, we are going to be at Sunset Peninsula Raceway on the full circuit but in reverse, and we're in for 5 laps. So yeah, let's take a look at the standings once we get into the menu. But yeah, really like this circuit. It's one of my favourites. It was really big news that it was actually going to be returning for this game.
Super competitive field
after I think not being on for a
no
while.
one's gonna willingly leave the race line, so be prepared to
Series
drive
standings. So yeah, we're not that far behind 4th and 3rd. Kind of not that far behind 2nd, but obviously 1st place is still some way off. So yeah, still potentially can get a podium, but it's looking less likely to get a win. But if we can get a podium, I'll be happy with that. This is the kind of circuit where we will be good though, because we saw in the 2nd race in the previous episode that we were pretty damn sharpish in a straight line. So yeah, and obviously this does have a lot of speed orientated parts to it. So yeah, I imagine we should do well. We were eating up the straights on the last race. Good launch, and obviously a much wider track than we have been before. So we shouldn't be getting into any entanglements. Yeah, there we go. Getting a good few places made up there immediately. Hang about. Is that Cadillac up front the estate version that we recently got before the car? Suspiciously looks like one. Does it say on the... Yeah! CTSV wagon. That must be an upcoming car, because obviously we don't actually are able to buy that yet. We certainly didn't have the option to choose it as a car for this championship. I did think that it looked like the wagon and not the normal, you know, CTSV coupe or anything like that. Right, so we've got that to look forward to at some point to be added to the game. Shows how much I play these games, that I'm able to spot a car from a distance and immediately twig that it's not one we've had a chance to use on this game yet. Obviously we have used it on Forza Horizon 5, which is a game that has kind of surprised me recently, because there is a new update coming out for it. Now granted, it's obviously not going to be out for a while. It's not until late April. Seems to be a case of it getting released purely to celebrate the release of that game going on the PS5. But I also suspect somewhat that it's also coming out in the same kind of, you know, in-depth and breadth that it's coming out in, due to the fact that Fable has been delayed, and Playground Games do work on that game. Obviously I'm not saying that the entirety of Playground Games are working on that game, but I imagine a good proportion, if not all, more than half are working on that game. So obviously that takes away from Forza Horizon 5, and also the prospect of a sequel to that game coming out as well. But yeah, regardless, the update is welcome news, because yeah, we get 8 cars that are new to the Forza series. 8 cars that I, in the main, I'm looking forward to driving. 4 of them are going to be part of the, you know, monthly update, and 4 of them are going to be part of a car pack. So if you've already gotten the Ultimate Car Pack add-on, which, you know, featured all of the previous car packs, then you'll get that new car pack for free. Pretty sure I'll get it for free, or if not, even if I don't, it's still not all that much. But if I do, it's probably because I have the ultimate version of this game, of Forza Horizon game, even. So yeah, I'm more particularly excited for the car pack though, to be honest, than the 4 other cars that have been added by the monthly event. Not that they don't look good. You know, we get another 6x6 vehicle, which is nice to see. I've always been a big fan of them. We get the Lamborghini supercar off-road vehicle. We also get another one of them, their supercars as well, that is more for the track. fourth car is. But there is a fourth car. I just completely slipped in my mind. But I'm more looking forward to the other car pack because we get 4 vehicles from Nissan as part of their late 80s, early 90s attempt to revive kind of like retro vehicles like we got from many other manufacturers in the early 2000s. So we're getting the Nissan Power, we're getting the Figaro, we're getting the S-Cargo van, another car that is slipping in my mind again, but regardless, they are all, small, lightweight, probably not going to be the most powerful of vehicles, but yeah, they are cars that I imagine people have wanted in a Forza game for a while. I've certainly wanted more of those kind of unusual cars to be added to a Forza game. And to be honest, it could very well be a major hint to what the next Forza Horizon game is going to be set in. Because they are all Japanese cars, they are all cars that outside of the Figaro were only sold in Japan. You could get the Figaro over here in the UK, I'm not sure if you get it in other countries, but yeah, I see the Figaro a fair few times on a monthly basis, because there are a couple of them in my area. But yeah, really interesting looking vehicles. Not going to be the most powerful, but it should be fun to upgrade and see how fast we can get them down an off-road course or in a straight line. So yeah, but I'm just more looking forward just to reviewing them and gushing over them, despite them not being the fastest of vehicles. But that's what the 4 other cars for the monthly event are for. I feel like they're catering to 2 different audiences with the car pack and those 4 cars, because those 4 cars are obviously high powered and quite quick, whereas the Nissan vehicles are obviously a lot less powered and a lot slower. But either way, it should be a fun month. Now obviously nothing is being said about March. I imagine there's nothing new going to be added into that month, especially since they are obviously asking for the community to vote on prior festival playlist series to make a return, and you can vote on whichever of the 2 that they pick. Now I did hear some rumours that maybe they'll be adding different vehicles to fit the theme of each of those festival playlists, but I've not heard anything confirmed, so I can't really say that that's going to be the case or not. It would be cool if it was. Oh dear, what's I want to say there? Because at the end of the day, I just like driving cars, and I like new cars being added. And it's not just to make content, it's just because I enjoy driving them, especially when they are a mix of weird or just generally cool or fun to drive or entertaining to drive in their characteristics. And that does not mean necessarily a good car to drive in terms of being entertaining, just entertaining in the way that it has its characteristics. So it can be because it's got a lot of body roll, or it's got a good amount of acceleration, or it sounds great, or anything like that basically. So yeah, new cars are always a good thing, regardless of what they are, as long as they end up actually enjoying them. I'm sure I'll enjoy the new 8 vehicles that are being added. It does kind of show up this game though, to be honest, because considering the amount of variety that are being added to Forza Horizon 5 with that car pack and with those 4 other vehicles, because there is a lot of variety there. Whereas this game, as much as I'm enjoying some of the cars that have been added, there's not that many new ones that we've never had in a prior Forza game, quite frankly. I mean, that Cadillac Estate up front is a perfect example. Yes, we've never had it on a Forza Motorsport game, but we have only in the last couple of months or so had it in a Forza Horizon game. And even though it is technically a new car to Forza Motorsport, it is at the end of the day an estate wagon of a car, estate wagon version of a car that we've already had before. So yeah, just a little bit mixed, really. But I am glad that we've been getting any kind of new additional cars to this game. Whoa, yeah. Oh dear. Please don't give me a penalty. That really did slow me down almost. Yes, thank you. Yeah, obviously we have the Hyundai Elantra coming up soon, the N version. I recently did a video on the racing car version of that. And then obviously we had the i20. So, yeah, we are getting some new cars added. I just wish there was more of them, and they were either a bit more weird or a little bit more sorry, a little bit more rare, or at least, you know, cars that we've never had in a game before, road vehicles that we've never had in a game before, rather than the numerous racing cars that we seem to be getting. But still, we've got a third place position there, which is pretty solid, and that will move us into third place overall. So we're only 6 points behind second, so we could theoretically get into that second place, but we are a massive 20 points behind first now, so unlikely to get that high up, but still, should hopefully be an interesting fourth and final race. So let's get there and see what we can do. Right, we're at Yas Marina. So it's a pretty fast circuit, this one, again with a big straight on it, or two, so should be able to make the most of that with our power. And yeah, it's 4 laps, so not particularly long, but a reasonably lengthy track regardless. So yeah, let's get started. So the other Nissan out of the car park for Forza Horizon 5, by the way, is the Nissan B1. Not a car that I've heard of. I have heard of the S-Cargo, the Figaro and the POW before. And then the other car that is part of the general update is the Lotus Exige Cup 430. So yeah, pretty racy car there. So yeah, which will go nicely against the Hennessy Mammoth 6x6, the Lamborghini Revolto, which is their new flagship car. Basically their big seller version. Basically think of it like Gallardo or the Huracan. And then we've also got the Huracan Starato, which is the off-road version of the Huracan. So yeah, should be a pretty interesting month all in all, those 8 cars. Nice variety between them all. It's nice to have another one of the you know, supercar, hypercars out there that are trying to go for a more off-road orientated stance. Because we already do have obviously the Porsche Dakar in there as well. Oops, did not mean to hit them. Did not have the braking performance here. I figured that would be the case, I just was hoping we'd get away with it. Right, need to come down harder on those brakes so we don't slam into the back of the caddy. Cadillac certainly seem to be one of the more popular cars for these championships. I think I've seen another Infiniti around. Someone's got a massive penalty at only 2 seconds. Knocked them well down the leaderboard when it comes to the final bit. So yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts on... well, the person in front has also got a massive penalty, that's helpful. I'd like to hear your thoughts on the update for Forza Horizon 5. I'm glad it's coming to the PS5 purely just because it gives more people the chance to experience the game. It's cool that they've been able to finally do it, giving not only the players for the PS5 the opportunity to get more cars immediately as it releases, but also the fact that they're able to visit the different worlds that have been a part of the festival playlist over the several years that's been going. So that's also nice. Plus there's also a new stadium track that's being added. So yeah, all in all, that game is, even though I thought it was on its last legs, which means that update video was aged like cheese in a hot summer day, yeah, I am at least glad that it's getting a little bit of a new lease of life. But whether or not that extends past April, I'll have to see. But I'm not really sure that's going to be the case, quite frankly. But you know, I guess it just all depends on the internal structure of Playground Games and how they're managing with the fact that Fable's been delayed by a year. Which I can understand them delaying it. You know, this year is going to be massive for some tentpole games. You're going to have GTA 6, you're going to have a new Call of Duty, you're going to have the new Mafia game, which I'm really looking forward to. So, yeah, it's easy to see why Microsoft might well think that that game's going to get lost in the shuffle. And at the end of the day, the extra time can hopefully be used to make it an even better game that's more polished, so it can launch in a good condition rather than the usual semi, workable condition that a lot of games launch in. Struggling a little bit here on this race, more than I thought we would. This car probably wasn't the best choice, to be honest. Now granted, it could easily just be because of the way I upgraded it that it's not really being able to be all that competitive, but I also feel it like it's because I didn't have that much PI to play with once it came to upgrading. There were several other cars we could have chosen that were already in B class, and therefore we could have upgraded them a lot more effectively. But at the end of the day, I generally choose cars that I enjoy driving, or that I like, or anything like that. So I know it's not a rational reason to pick a car, but at the end of the day, it does make driving more fun. And when it comes to actually competing, if you do succeed, then you're kind of surprised because you weren't really expecting it. So there's that. It's a shame really that this only really does one thing well, and that's going in a straight line. Understeer galore there. Get a check that time round though.
One more. Finish strong.
Stay within 2.25 seconds of the third place, and we will inherit that due to their penalty, but we obviously have to be within that range. closer than we have been before. Cadillac seemingly has the better handling though. Probably largely comes down to that rear wing that it's got, but still. Do it, I think we will. Yeah, we'll inherit third place due to their penalty, which is obviously not down to our merits, but still third is third regardless. We had a really good lap, as you can see, 2 minutes 10.280, which is, you know, nearly 0.6 of a second quicker than second place, nearly a second quicker than first. Who has been in first place during the I'm not going to say their name because it's a little rude, but who has been in first place for most of this championship only got fourth that time around. So if we'd have gone first, we would have come a lot closer to where they actually are, but we could never make up 20 points regardless. So where did we land? In third place with 84 points. It's only 1 point in it between me and second, which is incredibly close, but yeah, first place clearly ran away with that championship being 18 points ahead of us, but it is at least a podium position. But it unfortunately is the second championship in this tour so far where we only got third, so yeah, we're not having the best of luck, but still, nonetheless, hope you have enjoyed this championship. I certainly have, and yeah, I look forward to starting the next one. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.